Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.
Hello and thanks for joining us. It's Enterprise Morning on Enterprise TV. I am Henry Igwebike. Well, I guess it's only natural to think that the Christmas countdown is underway. Well, it's only natural if you asked me. And today on Enterprise Morning, we have two distinguished gentlemen. And I have Barrister Evans Ofeli, who is a lawyer by training and equally a public affairs analyst. You're welcome to Enterprise Morning. And Mr. Cyril Abaku, he is a communicator and also a public affairs analyst. Mr. Cyril, you're welcome to Enterprise Morning today. And straight up, let's move to newspaper headlines. And we have on the Vanguard the big story. A bombing error won't deter fight against terrorism. And on the rider of the same newspaper, we have UN deploys incidents and death toll rises to 127. Victims recount ordeals. Some injured moved to Army 44 Reference Hospital. PDP demands probe compensation. And also on the top sleep of the Vanguard, we still have NJCOK's 11 new justices for Supreme Court, and also demolition. Court freezes Kano governor's account over 30 billion compensation. Now let's move to our big story for today. And to you, Barrister Ofeli, it's fundamental, right, that civilians and civilian objects are often protected whenever military do their raids and all they know how to do best. Now, how much of a detour do you think this issue would have for the military?
Is a distraction anyway, but the main issue we have to talk about is the military's professionalism on this. Military operation is a very serious engagement, and there are rules of engagement. If you look at the Geneva Convention, one of the protocols, we have 4 protocols in Geneva Convention on International Humanitarian Rights. There's what we call precision bombing in terms of armed conflicts. Okay, this is an armed conflict, a 14-year-old armed conflict, which invariably would mean that the military should have gathered considerable experience on how the bandits, the insurgents, and the whole lot of them operates. Okay, so it is expected by military experience that you must have precision bombing, such that what it means by the Geneva Convention is that it is an offense for the military to strike indiscriminately.
Okay.
And then, hit their target in such a way that civilians harmed or killed. It is even wrong for the military to hit the right target, but at the same time injure civilians, let alone leaving the target completely and move to a different village and strike innocent people. So it's double offense in the manner of speaking. There are places in the world where you have the enemies within civilians. And the UN projection is that if you have that enemy installation within civilian, you must be able to hit that target, that enemy camp, without touching one soul that's a civilian. Okay, so that's how serious it is. But here, this is not just the first time. Remember in 2017 in Lake Chad, some fishermen, about 20 of them, were killed because the military felt they were part of the insurgent. And there's another case again that happened in one other village. Well, this is the third attack. Okay, that one happened at the IDP. Okay, the excuse military gave them was that the IDP, they did not mark it appropriately. Okay, so now this is the third one. There's a man who spoke to the press and he said 11 members of his families were killed. this is a polygamous setting where he marries a lot, and there are 11 children killed in one day. So the incalculable damage that this error has caused us is one that calls for not just probe, but that all the army chiefs, the three of them, that just appeared before the National Assembly not too long ago to beg for money.
Yeah.
They should release more money to them. Look at what they are. Look at the result. Look at what they are operating. They were accusing the judiciary for releasing insurgents. They accuse everybody under the sun except them. Now, this is the outcome. This is the kind of military that you are putting up with in a country like this. So I think it's unfortunate. And the president must do something more than just saying they be a probe or set up a committee. They must sack them and prosecute them for crime against humanity.
But if I might ask, it is an unmanned drone. And the question is, do you really think the military is competent enough to take care of this? Or should they just leave it for the NAF to solely take care of?
There is no drone in the world that is not manned. You know how drone works?
Yeah.
A drone is connected to a computer. Somebody's in the control room on the computer. The person directs that drone to anywhere. Do you understand?
Yeah.
The drone will not lose control, will not miss. The drone landed where it's a strike drone. Okay?
Yeah.
It goes on its own, survey the target, video, it gives you a 3D of the target. It gives you a 3D. You are watching 3D of the target. You are able to spot the human persons within the target before you get it on, because the drone is not going to come back. It's going to explode with everything and hit the target. For a sophisticated drone of that level, that have the capacity to give you a full view, close view, and a 3D view of the targets. So what it means is that somebody's in dereliction of his duty. For that drone to have gone, you would have seen, because the report said that majority that died were women and children. So the drone would have viewed tiny human beings clutching on their mothers. You don't hit such they couldn't have been insurgents. They couldn't have been militants. They could read the reports. Women and children were mostly affected. So you could not have said that they were insurgents, children and all that. You can't do that. So I think it's wrong. And I think the relevant authority will look into what has just happened. On my middleman show, I said that they have to first of all probe the service chiefs to find out exactly what the money they've given them, what they have used it for. So are we going to give them more money for this kind of operation? We need to answer that.
But on the rider here, it says PDP demands probe compensation for victims. Do you think they are saying this from the angle of sincerity, or is it a matter of trying to always be the better opposition?
No, PDP is an opposition. What would you do as opposition? Anything the government does wrong, you cash on it. That's the only way you can sell yourself and make yourself relevant in the polity, by saying, oh, look at the people you voted in Nigeria, look at them. See how disorganized they are. They are not just disorganized with the economy, they are also disorganized with the protection of lives and property. In fact, it was Bismarck Rowani that said on one of the TV stations that because of the level the economy has gone down, the level it has gone to, mad people, lunatics have increased in the Nigerian society. You don't know that a lot of people are now walking on the streets, talking to themselves.
Wow.
There are people who are crossing the roads mindlessly. They don't actually know where they're, because the economy has ruptured their emotions and intellection. So they are at a stage where they are just roving, not knowing where they are going to, not knowing where to go. A lot of pressure. So if Nigerians are under this kind of pressure, mental wise, emotional wise, economic wise, everything, this is the best time to preserve their lives and their properties. This is not the time to go and be pressing drone anyhow, to go and hold the drone, take it to the target. You need intelligence to know where the militants and the insurgents and the bandits are at every point in time, and you take it there, drop it on them, not on civilians.
Truly, this is not the right time to be reckless. Now let's go to Daily Trust newspaper. And our big story there, we have zero allocation for Mambila Power Project in 2024. And the writer says ministry gets 400 million for conference. Senators vow to query ministers. And also on the top sleeve of the same newspaper, we have prisoners from foreign lands working at construction sites in Nigeria. A very funny one it is. And also we have PDP and PP5 orders from coalition. And on the down slip of the newspaper there, we have what, of course, is making rounds in Nigeria. Kaduna village massacre. Protesters besiege National Assembly Zaria. Mr. Cyril, this issue of zero allocation for Mambila Power Project in 2024. Before asking you the question, I think it's very important we take our minds back to most recently, not even most recently, just a couple of days back. Our president signed what we would call, would we call that a memorandum of understanding, or is it a contract of 12,000 megawatts with Germany, worth $2.3 billion. And we have as a big story here, zero allocation for Mambila Power Project in 2024. Please help us make sense of this.
It's clear that the government has chosen its own path when it comes to the power sector in Nigeria. And it only stands to reason that I think the person that has been appointed Minister of Power, permit me, in my opinion, is someone who is here to get over the euphoria of the appointment. He probably hadn't seen it coming. He's not in the APC, he's a member of the Accord Party. I run for governor of Oyo State. He didn't get it. So when sometimes the goodies of office or the special office come this way, he appears to be somebody who is still celebrating in a fit of joy to have been given such high office. But the fact is, number one, like I said some weeks ago on a radio station, I said, no, I think that was last Saturday. Nigeria as a country has all the manpower it needs, has the technology it needs, has the resources it needs to build itself a self-sufficient, internally designed, domestically suitable power infrastructure for Nigeria. As a matter of fact, as I speak with you today in this studio, if we have a president who means business, we will have constant power from this very moment, without any interruption, without any obstruction, for as long as we want to have it. But it appears that we've allowed the politics of power to lead us to a place where the where the power of politics is depriving us of the place of power. So we're in that kind of quagmire, yes. But the fact is, Mambila will not have any location. Meanwhile, the ministry is spending 400 million naira for conferences. Is that supposed to be a typographical error, or an error that came in the middle of the transmission of the document from the ministry or from the president to the National Assembly? I doubt it. I think this is a premeditated, deliberate orchestrated means of, or way of just, making sure that the power sector is left to starve so that they can have things their own way. The president went to sign a $2.3 billion agreement with Germany. Before this President Buhari did the same thing. Do you remember with Siemens of Germany? Nothing came out of it.
Obasanjo did the same thing.
The fact, and if Obasanjo, before you signed that, you remember that in 2001, there was this 2.7 billion naira power project money that was given to Bola Ige as Minister of Power and Steel. The money was put in Union Bank, and the rest is history.
There's also a $16 billion
$16 billion power, so-called NIPP, National Integrated Power Project, and nothing came out of it. The power sector is a silent conduit for the type of public funds. So I'm not surprised at what they've done. I can tell you today that even if they had put money for Mambila Power Project, there are in Nigeria of today, a lot of engineers are willing to even volunteer their services. If only to make this country work, they will go to any length to make sure that what ought to work works in the power sector. But government has proven that it has no interest, has no real desire to make our own work. Their taste is for what's coming from what we like to call the abroad. When Nigeria said that we've signed an agreement with Germany, there will be a lot of. But the fact is that, as I speak with you today, the Algerian power sector is run in part by Nigerian expatriates. Whatever stopped our country from going from going to America to the UK to look at Nigerians who are undertaking research in power studies and saying, guys, come home. Some in the past 7 years, there have been 3 important winners of the Nigerian Prize for Science. 3 of them are in the power sector. And the fact is that we have 3 of them won, and then there are other entries that didn't win. They are still also in power. What's also from looking at what America did with the Manhattan Project, saying, you guys come together and put them in one room and say, we need a solution. You get a solution. Well, we are interested in the area $2.3 billion, $12 billion, $16 billion. Those are condos, and then you won't give Mandela Power Project one single kobo. It shows that if we have power in this country, it is a deliberate act. It's not as if...
No, it's deliberate.
It's deliberate.
It's very deliberate.
Very deliberate.
There are people who sabotage those efforts. Those who bring in generator, those who have companies that bring in alternative power supply. Those ones ensure that any contract that's awarded to ensure that we have constant electricity sabotage. Nigeria is the only country that is an OPEC member that have no constant power supply. Yes.
To its own shame. Meanwhile, we are sending power to Niger.
We are sending power to Niger, we are sending power to
Benin Republic.
Benin Republic. And in those places, the power is constant.
Yes. That's why I said that if we wanted to have power from today, from this very minute, government knows what to do. Let me tell you. In a lot of, so something as simple as this. If you bought credit from your bank account, right, to feed your telecoms line, your SIM card, you can buy it and your line will be credited directly.
Yeah.
But in power, if you went to a vendor on the road or you bought it on your phone, they will now print a slip for you that you can mechanically impute in a meter, as if we have not gotten to the point where you can just buy directly and the thing goes into your...
between that place where they are printing for you and the place where you are getting your power, there's the fraud within it.
Of course.
Which is terminated in between.
Yeah.
Okay, but I also learned that there are some meters now where you can just take the meter, get the token before you now impute it.
Yeah, but
which is the same thing.
Yeah,
so I think we've gone beyond that level where we'll stop down. You see, our problem in Nigeria is our inability to just grow.
Yeah.
We have humongous wealth resources sitting on poverty. Now, you see, apart from the presidency and maybe some people that own businesses, the rest of us are very poor. You understand? And the country should not be run like that, where 80% or 90% of your population are living under high tension poverty. It tells you that one day this whole thing will explode. A rich man's wealth is a strong city. The destruction of the poor is their poverty. Proverbs 10:16. You will just see the thing about poverty. There is a thin line between poverty and madness. Yeah. They are even the same thing. It's just different level of human existence. They are the same thing. So anywhere poverty has taken over, you cannot find sane behavior. You cannot see people competent. People will not be competent. They will not be sane. They will not obey law and order. They will go and be defecating on the expressway. Anywhere they see, they just start to defecate. You know what has happened to them? Poverty has ruined them. And that is the outcome we see, especially in Lagos here and in most places. So until the federal government decides to deal with poverty, deal with it in ways that critical infrastructures work, unemployment is addressed, issues education is addressed, on high scale, the country cannot go further than it is already until those issues are addressed.
But if we intend to get it right, just like you've all said that the issue is with the government and the way they run our policies in this country. Now, I know of a generating company in Jos called Nesco. Nesco has been operational and efficient for close to 50 years and still very functional because it is run by a private organization. Now, do you think it's better we outsource power generation to private companies? Because we see it happening with NESCO? Isn't it possible we see it happen on the larger scale?
NESCO is one of the pioneers of power generation and distribution in Nigeria. And I know that there's a lot of deviation and efficiency, deviation from the norm and efficiency that you put there that makes it. You see, there is nothing is stopping us from having power supply other than the human capital.
Simple.
And it is largely the political class. Okay, it is largely people of dishonest economic interests. Okay, there are people in this country that prefer that every other person is suffering so that their business will boom. So when you have those kind of people, and they were in government, many of them were in government. Many of them, even this last election, one of them, the largest importer of generator into Nigeria is Atiku. He's the one that wants to be president. That people should vote for him to be president, so that he will now give you power supply, so that his business will fall. So you see, the actors of our economy, and the worst part of it, that this government, current government, is not saying much about power. Have you noticed?
Very true. True.
Yeah, it's not doing much. It's not saying much about it. It seems to be a negligible issue. Whereas, okay, I learned that P&G, they are folding up soon.
Yes.
They are leaving too.
5,000 jobs on the line.
Wow.
5,000 jobs on the line. People are leaving. You understand? Companies, the ones left are folding up. Then small businesses, that's what you call sole proprietorship, small businesses. The owners are leaving, they're going abroad, selling their equipment at giveaway price. So if your industries are folding up and sole proprietors, the ones that have small scale businesses, are also selling off their assets and leaving. So what will become of this country in the next 5 years? And the government is busy signing off humongous millions for different kind of useless projects, like the president's wife's office, the vice president, they want to use how many billion?
15 billion. 15
billion now to the National Assembly want to buy cars for billions. Everybody want to do billions on frivolities. So at the end of the day, by the time this country gets stuck, all those things they are buying with billions will be in flames. Mm-hmm. They will be in flames now because it was just was it not NSAS that happened a few days ago, a few more years ago, that gave us a picture of what coming to your ends with will look like in Nigeria. Mm-hmm. After that, the lockdown gave us a semblance of it to when the 1 million boys came out, where you will be in your house, you see like 5,000 persons chasing only you. That kind of arrangement. If we don't address this issue and we get to that stage where everybody becomes mad, there will be no sane person to restrain 200 million mad people. Even the world cannot. That is why if you see, the UK have put in a lot of measures to restrain us from coming to that place.
True.
And even the ones that are by the Sahara Desert, those countries, the Morocco, the Mali and all that, those ones are putting measures. If anything happen here and all of us face, you can imagine, let's say 60% of our population go to like Libya to seek asylum. You know that Libya population is not the 2%. So we just overrun that place, climb there, and then enter the sea to speak.
Very true.
You see, the largest black nation in the world, the entire world will stop at nothing to ensure that we remain here. Anything that make us to break the Atlantic or break the Sahara Desert or break anywhere, and we are pouring into one country, that country will, all of them will run away. Because they will not be able to contain us. So what should we do? Is it not for our leaders to make sure that we put the right economic framework to ensure that we do not break loose to overrun the world? We need to address our primary issues, otherwise we'll be in very big trouble.
Sincerely, we'll be in very big trouble. And just like Pa Obafemi Awolowo would say, your chicken cannot be said to be safe when your neighbor is hungry. And straight up, we move to the Guardian newspaper for today. We have on the front burner, and 22,000 officers await relocation claims 7 months after quit notice. Ministry of Police Affairs 2024 budget 938.73 billion naira. And also at the bottom sleeve of the newspaper, we have Tinubu threatens to shut public buildings, denying access to PWDs. And also we have UN flays Kaduna bombing as protesters storm National Assembly, demand ministry's resignation. Barrister Ophelia, I'd love to start with this question with you. It says on the big news here, 22,000 officers await relocation claims 7 months after quit notice. Now, we all want security in this country. We all understand the importance of the police force. We all know how it is difficult for them to operate in a climate like ours. And the question is, what do you think is happening with the top pedigree, the top echelon of the police force? Why is it difficult for them to find lasting solution to greatness amongst its officers so they can carry out their jobs efficiently?
What is responsible is corruption now. Police is the most corrupt institution in Nigeria. Have you seen where a junior officer is posted in Nigeria Police Force? They will just carry letter and give him that you are now posted to medical. They'll give him letter. Then call the other policeman. Call the other one. You give that one letter. Just give them letter. That's all. You are the one that know how you're going to get there. Does not concern police. If you don't resume as when you want, as also it's your business. Whether you have uniform, whether it's old, new, anything, is you are the one that will go and get it for yourself. And when after the policeman struggle, and resume at work, get a uniform, get this, get it. Then no accommodation, no accommodation. Then he will not come out in the new posting, in his new post. Federal government will carry AK-47 and give him.
Or he may even have to be the one to source his own way.
So when you not give him, someone has gone through that harrowing experience, is no longer a sane person. You carry AK-47 and give him.
Without bullets.
So what do you want him to do with that AK-47? No, to shoot anybody. Stop boss to collect 20 naira or 100 naira, and the boss also will shoot. So we're creating this problem for ourselves. What of the ones who retire? If you retire in the police force today, the next week they put your road outside. They will tell you that they've posted people already to take over that apartment where you are in the barrack before you resign. The moment you put in your application for resignation, they've posted people already. Those people have arrived also. Before your resignation is approved, the people that will take over your apartment have arrived. So that you're not looking like this. They have approved it. So as you are the next day, they put those people there. So how are you going to solve this kind of problem? They have accommodation issue. They have issues of welfare. They have issues of lack of the salary is not enough. They have so many issues. And if you look at the budget for police, because they will just say defense, when you go deep down, you now see the breakdown for all the security agencies. If you see the budget for police, it's quite good enough. Because budgets still take the whole scale. It's quite good enough for the officers to use it to manage the police force, but they will not do it.
So the question is, we understand the structure of the police force. Where do you think we can, make the difference? Who should be held accountable? Is it who exactly do you think is Inspector Police?
The federal government should deploy auditors annually or quarterly or half yearly to audit the account of the police force so that you can probe and see where the leakage is. See, let me tell you, no matter, I'm just going to tell you, the police is structured from 1930 The Nigerian police was established in 1930. They were structured from that day to fail. You know why? You see, when you go to the police station and they say, bring money for bail, you see that money you are bringing for bail, whether it's 100,000 or 50,000, whatever it is, it has a sharing formula that predates the DPO there. The team, the IPO and the team, they have a percentage. Okay? The person that's superintendent over that team have a percentage. The DPO have his own percentage. The DPO, the what do you call it? It's an area commander. The DPO send the percentage of the other one. See, you can't touch police money. The team, the sharing formula have been there even before all these policemen are in police now. Before they didn't there. So that structure, they give them targets. That's why sometimes you see you drive, they just stop you and say, we're going to station. You show them everything, they just look for something, must go to station. At that level, especially most times in the night, at that level, they have not met up the target. And they must meet the target. So they must squeeze out something. It's not about whether you are wrong or right. They must squeeze out something.
That's our country.
So that is what it is. So in that kind of climate, how are you going to talk about? Because this thing I'm saying that they should get auditors. This one is just to glamorize TV, so that the listener will think maybe I know what I'm saying.
Nigeria has turned our wise men backwards.
You have to see. It's unfortunate.
Very unfortunate.
It's unfortunate. All the solutions were provided for.
There was a part of Lagos where, when a presidential directive made it compulsory that policemen must not stand on the roads to collect money and stuff like that. I can't remember what part of Lagos that was. Really, or somewhere. It's been long. The woman stood there. They were giving her money. She didn't look like a normal person. She didn't look like someone who was in her right mind. But she stood there, and all the drivers were stopping the yellow bus, giving her money. It was to a strange side because I was wondering, this sort of woman, she doesn't look like a unionist, like any RW or ROTEA, and she didn't look like any of them. And somebody said, leave her. They all gave her money. Said she was taking it for the police. That was the only explanation that made sense to me, because I wondered why such a woman would stand there and all the bus drivers would be giving her money. It wasn't, but they said no.
The police have an arrangement with the bus
drivers. Yes.
Sometimes when you travel through Lagos to the eastern part of the country, there are certain checkpoints. The police don't collect money.
Yeah.
You see one boy with a bag. Yeah. That is their consultant.
Yeah.
That boy is a jobless person in the community. Maybe the prodigal son of the king of the community or the outcast, but must be an indigene.
Yeah.
Because being an indigene gives you some rights over whatever overseas.
Yeah.
So what that one does is the one that will stand for police, like police monitor, collects all because they don't want to be caught on camera. So if that guy is caught, the police themselves will turn against him.
Find a way, yeah.
No, they will turn against him immediately.
Oh, okay.
They will turn against him immediately. There's no evidence that they have any agreement. They didn't write, nothing is written. They will turn against him and make sure he's arrested and put everything in his head. Anything he's going to say is not documented. You are not saying anything. But once they succeed, they convert somewhere in the evening. You understand? Where they are going to. Sometimes they quarrel and fight over that same one. The next day they continue. You understand? So that's the kind of policing we have. You see a policeman, you
sometimes they're holding sticks.
Yeah, you see them holding sticks. You see them, when I travel, sometimes I don't travel by road often, but the few times I travel by road, I buy water. When I see them, I give them water. Of course, they will stop me, but you won't collect money. I won't give you. Oh, I don't have. I'll give them water. I'll give them whatever they have, the wine, and give them.
Barrister.
You understand? I don't know why I happen.
The driver was eating bread. Bread.
I've been police bread before.
Half eating
bread. I bought for my children.
Half eating bread.
They took it.
He said you should bring it. I thought that online bypass.
That's to show you how shabby the whole
institution
is with them.
They have AK-47 with them in that condition.
Which they can weld at any time. It's very, very funny.
Our correspondent from the bread.
Okay, and also on the bottom slip of the same newspaper, The Guardian, we have 2023 exit list. P&G shuts manufacturing as forest crisis takes toll on production. If it were during the times of our former president, Muhammadu Buhari, would say, I am not aware. Now, do you think Tinubu is aware of all of this?
President Tinubu is an accountant. He understands economics to an extent. But by some things he has said in the past and written, it is clear. As a matter of fact, he's a businessman. So he's someone who understands business. He understands investments and stuff like that. What I would say, let me speak from the solution side, because clearly we are on the path to perdition. And nobody knows when the cataclysm is going to burst on everybody. But what I'm going to say is, and Barrister Freddy, by the way, I see that thing coming.
What?
If that is why we have met all the conditions.
If we're not careful, we're just waiting for time before that thing happens, and that day is very likely to come. It may be this close.
Well,
Please, can you clarify us what exactly it is?
No. We are dangerously and fearfully heading for a worst case scenario. We are dangerous. And my solution would be, look, think outside of the box and think the unthinkable. P&G, Glasgow Smith Kline, drug prices have gone to as far as 100,000.
8,000%.
8,000%.
Yes.
At Luth.
because forest is.
Yes, and then at Luth, they've shut whole departments down because of lack of personnel. You see, we're talking of forex on the one hand, but even the other basic things you need to do business, like diesel and what's it called, and diesel and even all the fuel and so on, you can't access them.
You're not reachable.
A lot of filling stations are shut down today.
Yes.
The fuel they're operating with, and the question is, are we in war? What's really the problem? There's no problem. We are in a man-made government-induced state of distress. You cannot get away with that for too long. What I suggest they do is call them back and beg them and give them tax rebate of up to 10 years. We need to revive this economy, except maybe we just want to gloss over it. Since the cabinet was inaugurated, we have lithium. Is that not so? We've been told we have a lot. What have we done between when the cabinet was formed and now in moving to get lithium factories in Nigeria? And the thing where American investors want to come, Saudis want to come.
But forest, how would they manage forest?
Yes, and whatever happened to helping people locally set up this manufacturing site? What does it take?
You see, this one that are living, the P&G and co that are living, they are the experience for the ones that intend to come.
Exactly. So no amount of John getting will save the day.
So the ones intending to come, what they will do, they say, P&G is living, no, it's okay. Please get us P&G's
advice or something.
Profile,
yes.
This thing and all that. They get their advice, they get their business model, concept in Nigeria. They go through it and they see that everything is in negative, everything is in minus. If everything is in minus, so they are the ones coming without considerable or cognitive experience. The ones with considerable and cognitive experience are leaving. How will they come? You don't know that everything is PR. That for you to allow your economy to dwindle to the state that where one company is leaving, that one company that's leaving, a lot of companies intending to come,
yes,
will now be asking, why would P&G that viable? Cadbury, that company in the 80s in Nigeria, there's no family, there's no household.
True.
You understand? Look at them living. You think new ones will come and replace them? From where?
If even those who have been there for 30 years, 40 years are now saying that they can no longer stay, what then is the viability or tenability of what that's coming to do?
So it does not matter the little whatever you have on solid mineral, it does not matter the level of solid mineral you have or all kind of mineral. You don't have the condition precedent to bring investors. You see all this one that Tinubu is going all over Saudi Arabia.
Canvassing for
all those places
for investment.
Taking humongous money to pay transport to fly all over looking for investors. See, a country that want to get investors, you don't need to be in the air looking for them or going to the country to tell them to come. You don't need that. What you need is put in place critical infrastructure. Okay, disarm insurgency, revive the economy, address unemployment. Once the average Nigerian is sane, if average Nigerian is sane and upgoing, and the economy is okay, and the investors, you know what investors do? Every day, they don't rush the world the way we do. Every day they just come, carry the map of the world. They have money. They start to look at the map of the world. Where are we taking our money to for the right investment? They finger this country, that country. They go on research. They hand over the country to their researchers. Go and research the economic perspectives of this country for the last 20 years. Give us visibility study on what you think we could use our money to invest in that country that will give us profit, maximum profit, okay, and minimal loss. The researchers will do and bring the report. They will sit over the report and look at the possibilities, look at everything. Look at the political instability, economic fortune, misfortune, everything. They plot a graph, draw that 25-year plan on it. When they look at their profit, if it's in the negative, they will do like this. Give us another country. That's what investors do.
But if I might ask, what exactly is the smoke screen that is preventing our president from not realizing these issues and finding a way to handle them? Of course, he has claimed, to have taken Lagos from what it used to be to a viable state. Why is he finding it a lot more difficult now to get it done?
Difficult by applying the wrong policies. You were elected to lead. In fact, the president before him tried 4 times. He tried the first time and luckily he got it by virtue of incumbency and all the malpractice they did. The day he was inaugurated, they said subsidy is gone. Thoughtlessly. That is where I getting it wrong. If Tinubu would have been able to ameliorate the economy, he made it impossible himself. Because before he came, he had not understood anything. He didn't know the direction of the country. He didn't know what was going on. Now you increase the major commodity that affects everyone. You increase it by 300%. What I would have done is, if I will decide to pay subsidy, you know what?
Continuously,
Yes.
even when the budget is not there. How realistic is that?
You create. Let me tell you, Buhari did this budget that's ending by 31st December, Abi?
Yeah.
Okay, since from June, was it June or
May.
no, from June.
June ending.
From June ending.
Okay.
From June ending. There was no budget for it.
Yes.
Right? You come in, bring that subsidy to the supplementary budget you just created. Yes, bring the subsidy to it. Let Nigeria keep paying subsidy until she's able to create to build her refinery.
But don't you think that
Should
would
be the punishment.
But don't you think that would be throwing himself under the bus? Because during his manifesto, so many times he said it's
But he didn't say how he was going to
manifesto are gratuitous promise. Manifesto everywhere in the world. Ask politicians. If the economic reality, I'm twist you. Don't go there.
Yeah.
The reason we're deeper in this problem is because of that subsidy that was removed. Nigeria is supposed to be paying subsidy as the punishment for not putting your refinery to work. So why don't you budget for it? Provide that, pay that subsidy. Then use that window period to revive the refinery. Then take off the subsidy. Nobody will know. Because by the time the refinery start to work and you now have excess of the product, there will be no need to import it. And if you are not importing, you don't need subsidy. Yes, because what we're actually subsidizing is the transport and maybe a small fraction on the principal sum. So by the time logistics takes away that, what you now have is yield, harvest. So from harvest, you cannot. There's no country in the world that is buying fuel at the rate we're buying it. I was in South Africa in August, and I asked the driver that was carrying me around what they purchase it. And when I calculate it, it was like what we are spending now at that time.
Okay.
Because South Africa doesn't even have a drop of oil. So now we are buying like the South Africans.
Like, yeah.
Or even more. whereas we have it. South Africans don't have it. In the UK, this same year, April, I was in the UK. It's just about countries that don't even have it. I even buying it less than we that have it. What is wrong with us? Something must be wrong with us. And that thing that is wrong, this government came and amplified it. You just say subsidy is gone. Gone to where? Okay, how are you going to manage the attendant crisis that came after it? It was after the subsidy gone, now remember, that family, let's give 12 million families this amount of money. Later he changed it. And that's okay, let's give it to the governors. They gave governors 5 billion, right? As a palliative. That 5 billion they gave them as palliative. In my village, I went to the village not too long ago. 8 bags of rice got to my village. 8 bags. Each bag had 240 cups. Each family got 3 cups. Some families didn't get anything. That is the palliative for the subsidies gone. What kind of decision is that? If you apply that decision to your family, you will go to work one day. By the time you come back, you will meet nobody. Because the family would have gone on strike. That's exactly what they did. Now, instead of them to now retrace that mistake and address it effectively, they now come up with a supplementary budget. The supplementary budget did not even touch on palliative. It was just for their own aggrandizement. A serious government will use that window of supplementary budget to ameliorate the suffering of Nigerians.
2.1 trillion naira to be spent in 2 months.
In 2 months.
And you can't make room for subsidy.
The money is gone already. Today is 7 or 8. 7 months.
Yeah.
So in the next few days, that money is gone. You cannot, in fact, it has been signed to law already, so you can't even go to court to get an injunction because it's already a law. You can't use law to fight law. So that one is gone already. The 2024 own, we've seen how that one is also going. You understand? So even that 2024 own, there is nothing there to address palliative. That you should have even bring it back in 2024. 2024, fully pay it. You understand? Pay it as a punishment for your refusal to fix the refineries. Then use that period of fix it. That's how to do it. Not what we are doing. What they are doing will take us nowhere. That's why mad people are increasing on this.
And is it possible to ever maybe press the reset button? If it's possible, what do you think could be the possible consequences, and how would that affect our economy?
Now, if you press what?
The reset button. Let's say Bola Tinubu.
Yes. You see, this reset button is what I'm talking about. That their mind is not there. We have analyzed Nigeria to the point where even we analysts, we're about to run mad. It's going to get to a point where analysts will be analyzing and they will analyze out of is lunatism. We will go out of control too. We are analyzing one issue consistently for 12 years. And it has not worked. Are you not going to run mad soon? So that's what I'm saying, that this reset button thing, we have said it consistently. They are not listening. They are not going to use it to work. What they are doing is just allocate billion. These billions, one day, I said, we have met all the conditions for disintegration. We have met everything. In fact, what is holding us now look like a force beyond us. The Christian will ascribe it to God. The whoever believes in whatever thing will ascribe it maybe to the cosmic administration of the universe. There's just something that is holding on. In fact, we have met all the conditions for a shutdown. But something somewhere is, permeating over the stratosphere, holding the affairs of men in a way. I don't know what that thing is. But the day that thing decides to leave us, and we break loose into one country, we shouldn't get there. We should not.
Actually, a very, very sad one. We hope for that day when Nigerians will be proud of the country they have and equally be proud for the leaders that they have. That's just about the time we have on our newspaper headlines for today. But of course, I won't go without saying many thanks to Barrister Evans Ofeli and Mr. Cyril Abaku. Thank you so very much. Yes. So this is just about the time we have, and we'll be right back. Please don't go anywhere.
Enterprise TV, your one-stop shop for news, programs, human angle stories, the economy, sports, and much more. We go the extra mile to bring incredible details to you. So hop on the train now. Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.